We are being told that our system is evil and needs to be overthrown. They say that it's systemically racist, unfair, oppressive. But what exactly is our system? Well, nothing more than the laws or rules that we're subject to. They reflect our values, what we believe is right and wrong. So what laws that we live under are evil? As relates to racism, I would honestly have to say none that I know of. Can a person of any race live where they choose? Can they do what they want for work or enjoyment, own or purchase whatever they like, marry whomever agrees to marry them, vote in any election, run for any political office, express whatever opinion they might have? Of course they can. So I don't think we can honestly say our laws are systemically racist at all. But what about when laws are selectively applied or ignored? Can that be evil? Of course it can. And of course it can happen. But that's not a problem with the law or system. It's a problem with it not being applied as written. It's an error in enforcement. Can people in power be evil or racist and seek to misuse the law for evil purposes? You bet they can. And if they do, it's our job to get them out of power and punish their bad actions using the very law they abused. That's not a problem with the system, but rather with bad people in power. And that's a very important distinction. Let's take a case in point that's front and center in the movement to overthrow the system. George Floyd was killed by a police officer with no justification. We all saw the video as he literally took his last breath. That was an evil action by someone in a position of power, a public servant sworn to uphold the law. But there was no law justifying what he did. There was no okay by the system. He was not following the law, but breaking it. And in this case, the system is punishing him exactly as it is designed to do. He lost his job immediately and was charged with murder shortly thereafter. He'll have a trial, and 12 common citizens will decide if he is guilty or innocent based on the evidence. That is the definition of justice, the system working as it should, the opposite of systemic racism. Every case is different. Sometimes justice is done, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's not. Those convicted are not always guilty, and those set free are not always innocent. But it's not the law's fault when we fail to enforce it fairly and honestly. It's our fault. So when someone tells you that our system is evil and must be overthrown, they should have a better system to replace it, don't you think? And we should look long and hard at the replacement system before we get rid of the one we have. We should be absolutely sure that it will indeed be more just. Our founders did just that before throwing off the British crown. You know, history is filled with systems being torn down by angry mobs with nothing real to take its place, save the whims of the very few who seize all power. And then there is no system, no law at all to restrain them. And that is an endgame that we cannot allow.